Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm up here at Nelson Bay, Port Stephens, and today's location is going to be Zenith Beach, just at the base of Mount Tomaree. I was thinking of going up there this morning, but it may take about 20 minutes, so I'll go up about a little bit later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stay down here so we can do a lovely talk today where we add another tribute, another video to the many videos that we have on all that I've ever learned from Tony Robbins over the years. And I'm going to, or I plan to, put together 365 videos, one a day, based on all of the learnings that I've been able to accumulate over the years from the big man Tony Robbins, having now been to not one but 3 of his UPWs, Unleash the Power Within seminars, having read 2 of his initial books, Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within, as well as listened over the years intently over and over to his tape series Power Talk and Power Talk 2. Since then, I've also been able to go through and build up a library of material where I've listened and read other books and book summaries. So what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit more about one of Tony Robbins' pet loves, and that is to talk about relationships and the importance of having the right attitude, to have the attitude of giving when you're in a relationship rather than the attitude of taking. By all means, we need to give and take when we're in relationships, because love is an action word, as the big man says, and you need to predominantly come with the attitude of giving, and giving all that you can, because as we discussed in a previous vlog, Tony Robbins mentioned that when we first meet somebody, when we fall in love, it's all about giving. You don't ever think about taking. You'll take out the garbage, you'll open the door, you'll organise dates, and you'll do whatever it takes. But with time, familiarity breeds contempt, and with time, Tony Robbins reminds us that we start to get slack, we start to get lazy, we start to get selfish, it's a big word, rather than selfless, and we start thinking more about ourselves than what we think about our partners, and that's when the rot starts to set in. So what we're going to do today is we're going to examine what happens in relationships and what we can do to turn our 3s or our 4s, our 6s into 8s, 9s or 10s. And we need, as I mentioned in yesterday's vlog, to try and maintain wherever possible the day one mentality. And as you can see, we're about to experience a most magnificent sunrise, the creation of a new day here at Nelson Bay at Zenith Beach. And we need to understand that every day is a new day. It's a new day to us, and we need to maximize and leverage that newness, that freshness, so that we make the most of the opportunities that are about to present themselves in a unique way, because nobody has ever experienced this day before. What we're about to see in terms of the sunrise, while it happens every day, every sunrise is a different sunrise, and today is going to be quite different because it is new. And what I want to eventually talk about is an experience that I had many years ago when I attended a wedding at a church in Kogarah, a Greek Orthodox church in Kogarah, where the presiding priest was Father, I've just forgotten his name all of a sudden, but it'll come to me. Anyway, there was a priest at the church, Father Sophronios, that's the one, who now is in Wollongong. So he's at the Church of the Holy Cross in Wollongong, but he was at the church, at the Greek Orthodox Church, should I add, at Kogarah. And there was a wedding that my wife and I, Paula, were invited to with our children. A beautiful Greek Orthodox traditional wedding. And at the end of the wedding, Father Sophronios said something which I found to be quite profound and very useful, so much so that I relay it to many new couples that I meet when I talk to them about key messages and key learnings over the years in terms of how to get the most out of your relationship. I've even told Father Sophronios about this message, and to my surprise, he'd actually forgotten that he'd actually said that. You know, because I mentioned to him word by word what I got out of his message to the couple after the wedding, and he looked at me with surprise, saying, "Did I say that?" And I said, "Yes, you did, and you should be saying it more often," I told him, in which he laughed. But you know, he's a great orator, Australian-born priest, who has a wonderful following from a lot of people, and is very much loved by his community, regardless of which community he serves, because he comes, like all priests should come, as servants, to give rather than take. And through the action of giving and through the spirit of giving, you get to be more fulfilled and to take as well. So to cut a long story short, I'll continue my walk along this beach, and I'll grab this sunrise, this magical sunrise over the Pacific Ocean. And it's almost a double sunrise, because you've got the sunrise in the sand there and the one on the horizon. Just beautiful. So what Father Sophronios said at the end of the wedding, and it was a beautiful couple getting married, and I'll just do a bit of a panorama at the moment just so you can see what I'm looking at. beautiful morning. Anyway, what Father Sopronio said, and I'll get to his message. I know it's long-winded, but it's so beautiful. I just need to capture both the sunrise, the start of this brand new day, this day one mentality that we all need to keep and to leverage. What Father Sopronio said when he addressed the married couple and the congregation was that he commented and he complimented them on how handsome and how beautiful they were and how well behaved they were on the day, saying that just like all couples who get married, their day one is quite special in many ways. And he said they came with the right attitude, they were dressed to the nines, their families were there to witness this wonderful day as well. And he said that today is a wonderful day where you've come prepared, you've come with the right attitude, you've come to give, and everybody around you is here in support of this wonderful occasion. And he said that today needs to be used as a benchmark and as a baseline of all the other days that they need to live together. He said that there will come days where things will not be exactly like today. There will be challenges in their lives, just like there are challenges in every person's life. And there will be times where they will let each other down. The husband will let down the wife, and the wife will let down the husband. The couple will let down their parents, will let down their friends, will let down their relatives, and vice versa. They will be let down by others around them as well. And this is just natural, just like the waves come in, they crash, they go out. There's an ebb and flow in the tide. There are rips, there are distractions. The sun will rise and fall, and then rise again and fall again. And it's just a cycle of life. And relationships as well go through seasons. They start off in the spring, go to the summer, go to the autumn, go to the winter. And it's up to the couple to manage those seasonal challenges, but also for the couple to manage their growth and development, and to ensure that both are growing and developing in a number of ways over the years. And Father Sopronio said that, as we said before, they're going to let each other down, and they're going to let each other down in ways that they don't even imagine or understand or acknowledge, because there are things that they're going to do and there are things that they're not going to do. There are things their parents and friends are going to do and not going to do, and it's going to sting them in different ways at different times. But he said, in order to make the most of their relationship, in order to enjoy their relationship for as long as possible, they need to learn the art of forgiveness. They need to offer and seek forgiveness from each other on a daily basis. As silly as it sounds, it is so important, because we're just human at the end of the day, and we're all work in progress, and we need to learn to be humble and to know that we're not the source of all information, and that there are days that we are going to fall short, many days that we're falling short. And that's why at a Greek Orthodox Christian wedding we do ask for the help of the Holy Spirit. We ask for the help of God, of Jesus, to help the couple to get through those troubling times. And for me, it is such a profound sort of message that I love to share with people, that we need to, on a daily basis, not on a yearly basis, not on our wedding anniversary, not on our special moments, but every single day before we go to sleep, to turn to each other and to ask each other's forgiveness for our shortcomings. It takes a lot of courage for egotistical people and couples to seek forgiveness, but it's all about tapping into the unconditional love of God. And the reason why we get married, the reason why, if we're lucky, we stay married, the reason why we have children and grandchildren if we're even luckier, or for some people to have great-grandchildren, is to make the most of the time that we have on earth, not for our enjoyment, but to find a path and a road to heaven. My spiritual father always reminds me that the reason why some people are called to marriage and to parenthood and grandparenthood is so that they can go and use that road to try and help their partner, their children, their friends, their family, to one day make it to heaven. We don't get married just for the good times. We get married to complement and supplement and to help each other through those tough times as well. During the Greek Orthodox marriage ceremony, in the prayers, if you listen to the prayers, they talk about the hope that the couple are productive, they can A, have children, B, raise a good family, and if they're lucky, to be able to see and to experience their children's children, but also to magnify the good times, so to have a partner who's going to increase the good times, to double, to magnify, and also to help reduce the bad times, to halve the bad times through their nurturing, through their understanding, and through their help. But, you know, some couples get it arse about. Instead of multiplying the good times, the partners see themselves as being the killjoys to reduce the good times. And when it comes to the bad times, through the whinging and the whining and the carrying on, they amplify and multiply the bad times to make them feel even worse than what they actually are. So once again, some wise words from Tony Robbins, where he talks about the key elements of relationships. And whilst not all people are called to getting married, we are all called to have a relationship with a significant other, be it a husband, be it a wife, be it a spouse. And we're all called to have a relationship with God, to to love God with all our heart, mind and soul, to worship God with all our heart, mind and soul, to learn God's love, and God's love is unconditional love, and to not only learn God's love, but to practice and share God's love with our families, with our partners, where we are not conditional. We just continue to give. We just continue to love. We continue to sacrifice and work and to do all the things that are necessary to maintain that relationship and to grow that relationship, knowing fully well that if you're not working a relationship hard, if you're not sweating a relationship, then atrophy and entropy will start to enter that relationship. And yesterday's 10, which would have been the wedding day and the honeymoon and all those wonderful times leading up to it, through the courting and the engagement and all the wonderful days leading up to the wedding, will start to fall away. The 10 big day, the wedding day, the big 10 day will start to fall away and become an 8, a 7, a 5, a 3, until it gets to the stage where there is no more energy left, there is no more love left in the relationship, because the partners, the participants in that relationship don't include God, don't include the Holy Spirit, and start to drain each other by weighing on each other and carrying each other, because there's only so much, there are only so many people that one can carry in their life before they get exhausted. So it's important, yes, to give, but also to realise that there is a limit to how much a parent, a partner, a grandparent can give, and we need to, wherever possible, to give back, to give them hope, just like they give us hope, to give them hope, and to pray for our partners, to pray for our parents, to pray for our children, and to call on God's help in the relationship. There are prayers within the Greek Orthodox religion where children are called upon to pray for their parents, pray for their parents' marriage to continue to blossom, to be fruitful, to be fresh. And if children create too many problems, and I've seen this time and time again, if children are too demanding, if children create problems all the time, then those problems start to eat away at the parents, the grandparents, and the family's relationship. So children have a responsibility, just like parents have a responsibility, to try and do whatever they can to enhance and to maintain the relationship that they have with each other and the relationships of the people around them. I look back now that I'm 63, with great shame when I recall getting some fun and having some fun with my parents by getting them to have fights, by just niggling them. And as I say, I look back with great shame at those moments. I'm an only child and I was used to being the centre of attention, and sometimes, in order just to add some spice and to have a bit of a laugh, I used to just niggle my parents and play one off against the other and cause them grief ever so slightly. No, not as bad as what I see a lot of other children doing to their parents. But once again, if I had just 1 nanosecond with each of my parents, the two things that I would say to them, I'd drop down onto my knees and kiss their feet and just cry my heart out. The two things that I'd want to say to my parents, my dear parents, the people who got married, who went through a lot so that I can have more in my life and to support my children and to provide me an education. The two things that I would say to them is thank you and I love you. And we must never ever forget our parents. And as I say time and time again, the worst parents in the world end up being the greatest parents for people. I was very fortunate to have great parents, but I'm saying that even the worst parents sacrifice a lot to bring up their children and to have a family, even though in some cases it doesn't work out. You know, most parents, when they've got babies, when they've got infants, are really, really committed, really, really good at what they do. But something happens along the way. The oxytocin dries up and wears off, and the love dissipates in the parents, and they just go their own way for selfish reasons. I know it's tough. All relationships are tough, but as the Greeks say, it's in the tough times that a captain of a ship shows their skill and their strength and their capability. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of All That I've Learned from Tony Robbins, one of 365 videos that I plan to put together in tribute to the big man, where I take the various messages that he has put out through his programs, through his books, through his tape series, to millions of people throughout the world, to try and help them experience and live a better life. So I'm well on my way. I'm in my 40s now in terms of the number of vlogs. I do enjoy doing what I'm doing, and if you want to follow me, by all means follow me. I've got a playlist of all the videos that I've put together in this series that is available free of charge to anybody who wants to listen to my ramblings. My granddaughter says to me that I'm boring, and that's fair enough. She's talking honestly and from her heart. But hopefully one day, maybe one day after I've gone, they can listen to these vlogs. Annabelle, Elizabeth, Poppy, and whoever else God may gift to my children, and listen to the Bapu and maybe learn something about wedding, something about marriage. And as my Uncle George Dickus, who has passed away, but was a very wise man and had an impact on lots of people, he would always say that there is someone for everyone. So in our lives, you will always find a significant other as long as you believe in love. And on his deathbed, he said to my Auntie Frida, who loved him dearly, and he said to her, if there is just one day, if there is just one moment that you can remember that we had a great time together, all I want you to do is just to hold on to that one moment that we had together, and to forget all of the other times that may not have been perfect, because at the end of the day, we are all work in progress. We are human. We have our frailties. We have our demons. And that is life. That's how we all are. And just to be able to vocalize and to express that in itself is really powerful. And the reality is, over the years, I've seen lots of people get married, and everybody who gets married is madly in love with each other. They are giving, they are selfless, and they are wonderful partners. But not all people have the capability of sticking it out and fulfilling their duty for the rest of their lives. And that's just the reality of life that we just need to accept, and to not harbour any grudges, and to realise that not all people are called to being in a loving relationship with a significant other for the rest of their lives. Not all people are called to love and to be in a relationship with God. It's sad, but it's the truth. And the longer you live, the longer you realise that if you are married, if you are in a relationship with a significant other, then that in itself is an absolute miracle that needs to be honoured, needs to be respected, and needs to have your full attention, to try and do whatever you have to do to be the best version of yourself, to bring out the best in your partner. Because I often say to myself that there are some people in my life, there are some people in my world that bring out the angel in me, that bring out the best in me. But there are also some buggers, some people who bring out the devil in me as well. And I don't know if it's them or if it's myself, but sometimes we come across people who just bring out the worst in us. So we need to, I guess, be aware of that, and to try and temper and trying to manage our temper and our anger, so that we can be the best and we can bring out the best in those around us. And just like Father Sopronio said, to offer and to seek forgiveness from our partners, our children, our friends, our family, our community, and from God, because we're not always going to be on our best behaviour. We're not always going to be wearing the mask that we wore during our courting days and our wedding days. Sometimes we're going to be raw. Sometimes we're going to be the true self that we are, and to ask our partners, ask our friends, ask our parents for forgiveness, because we just can't help being like that, but to be understanding with us, and to know that hopefully our bad self is temporary and fleeting, and that we're in a position to express our good self more often than not. Anyway, I've really enjoyed this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where once again we've taken an opportunity to express and to share all the wonderful things that we've learnt over the years from the big man Tony Robbins, and to encapsulate it and document it and make it available for our friends and our families, so that they too can gain from these messages of empowerment. Thank you once again, and we'll chat again soon whenever we get an opportunity. And as I say, my next vlog is going to come from the top of Mount Tomaree, where I walk all the way up there and check out the sunrise from a different angle and a different perspective. Take care, everybody. Wishing you all the best, and may we live a life that is productive, and may we live, learn, and hopefully pass on to others the messages that we have, the powerful messages that we come across, so that we can all grow, develop, and live a life of fulfillment, where we can find continual, endless, spontaneous fulfillment in the arms of our significant other, and love them to the day where we release and give up our last breath. Yasas, take care, and bye for now.